Are you a life coach who wants to make a difference in the world? Do you want to share your wisdom, passion, and experience with others? Do you want to grow your business and reach more clients? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need Life Coaching Today. Life Coaching Today is the largest platform on the web for life coaches, therapists, and hypnotherapists who want to enhance their visibility, gain exposure, and connect with clients. Life Coaching Today is more than just a directory. It's a network of opportunities. By joining Life Coaching Today, you will get access to a magazine where you can be featured and connect with over 30 million subscribers. Be a guest to our podcasts with over 55,000 subscribers. A directory where you can showcase your profile, services, and testimonials to thousands of potential clients. And that's not all. Life Coaching Today also offers a free 30-minute coaching session on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you can be coached or meet your next client. A flexible pricing plan where you can choose the best option for your budget and goals. A dedicated customer service team where you can get help and guidance whenever you need it. So what are you waiting for? Join Life Coaching Today and take your life coaching career to the next level. Visit www.lifecoachingtoday.com and sign up today. Life Coaching Today, the largest portal on the web connecting coaches, therapists, and hypnotherapists.
Hey everyone, good morning, good morning. It is Kadada Esmer Gray, your conflict coach with Life Coaching Today Presents, and good morning. Thank you for joining me so early on this Thursday. I honestly felt as if I missed a day, meaning that today was supposed to be my Wednesday. I'm not too sure what happened. This week feels super condensed. But thank you for joining me. If you recall that today is Thursday, good morning to you. I was running a little late this morning, which is hilarious because I can honestly say that this podcast was about to be late, y'all, because I sincerely had forgotten where I put my lotion and my favorite lotion. So that was was top of mind for me running around trying to find my coconut lime wit shea butter. And I wish I could remember the name of the company because they are fantastic. Their shea butters are fantastic. So welcome. If this is your first time joining, I am Kadada Esmer Gray. I am what is called a conflict coach. Just a little bit about me randomly. My master's is in conflict management resolution with some specialties in organizational conflict, adult bullying, people in conflict, right? And so what I look at is that the view of the world is always in the space of conflict because life is conflict, and conflict doesn't mean something negative. That just means that we have some challenges, we have some choices that we need to resolve, that maybe two or more parties can't come into agreement. And honestly, you yourself, I myself, can have conflicts as well, right? And that means we have internal conflicts where we might be dealing with our emotions, and then we have external conflicts whereby we are dealing with external entities, people, systems, processes that completely are not in tune to what it is that we agree with or who we are and so forth. And I take all of that whole ball of things and look at the world from that perspective. And so we here at Life Coaching Today Presents, we talk about life, and life includes politics, money, how we're living our lives. We talk about everything over here. So thank you for joining me, and I'm super excited today. One, because y'all, the kids have gone back to school here in Georgia anyway. So I know my Northeast friends, y'all don't go back until after September, but it's so cute. Like, it's so cute, and it makes me sad though because I don't have babies in the K to 12 system. My babies are in the collegiate system and higher level terminal because my terminal degree getting seeking child is, on her way to her master's program, and my youngest is he is, gosh, I think this might be his sophomore year in college. It seems like he's been going a while, but I think it's his sophomore year. Um, and so I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, but it felt really weird not to have like a school supply list, um, which is what I want. I really want the school supply list and so forth. So that's just one of the things that I'm like, that is perfect. So it's back to school time. The kids are getting ready. Um, get all of your 250 supplies for the classrooms. And just shout out to the teachers because the teachers, Lord knows the teachers. I bless them because a lot of teachers here in Georgia actually are going to have to be or deal with children who cannot have access to their phones. And so they bought these little kits. So when the kids come into the classroom, they've got to put the phones in that and keep it away from them during the school day. And so that in and of itself is going to be a conflict because our children are super attached to their phones. And so hopefully that will have an increased level of engagement in the classrooms once again, like some of us, how we went to school back in the day. Lesson cheating, because guess what, you can pop up anything on your phone, any answer to the questions. And so that is super, super duper going to be a challenge this school year for many because I'm really expecting us to see some news stories about children fighting teachers or bad behavior because they don't have access. And let me just say, if you're one of those parents, I'm 49 years old, y'all. If y'all are one of those parents that are like, no, my child needs a phone in the classroom so I can reach them. First of all, can we just say you are disrupting your child's learning ability in those moments, as well as, you know what, guess what we used to do back in the day, y'all? Call the front office. There's speakers in the classroom, and they call and stop the teacher in the middle of the class and they say, hey, Miss Smith, can we speak? Can you please send little Joey down to the office? And guess what? More than likely, it was a parent calling. So there's a way to do this without disruption. So your child is fine. I know we live in a world now whereby, we have places that children can be harmed, but guess what? 99% of the time, they are truly safe in our schools. So that is going to be one conflict of this world. And talk to your children about the necessity not to have their cell phone, right? So I don't want to live in the space of cell phones, but that is going to be a huge thing. So watch the news for that, y'all. Let's see what else has happened. Oh yeah, so we have um, here in the United States, you all, you know that Joe Biden is no longer running for president or reelection as president. So Vice President Kamala Harris is the nominee, officially coming next. Oh no, in like 10 days or so at the DNC convention. And but guess what? She selected a her pick. She selected her VP pick. Get that? The VP is picking her VP. I love it. VP picking her VP. And so she selected the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. That's with a Z, Walz. And so fantastic. The first day that they actually were running around and having their own first event, I did not watch it. I didn't watch it intentionally because sometimes, like right now, I am kind of slowing down on my political intake, but I got to watch a clip of it yesterday live with him. Listen, he is a firebrand. And he is, as I told my mommy, when I was watching him stylistically, his engagement with the audience, his speaking style, and so you all, if you all don't know, like I'm a political consultant, so certain things I look for in candidates, executions. And here's what's interesting. I said, this man, Tim Walz, is the man that Donald Trump wishes he was. He wishes to be that man. That is the dude that he wishes. Like, I mean, he just feels really like, yeah, come to the table. Come, let's sit down and break bread. Let's have a beer. He's not like stuffy. He's not some people try to be funny and you can't get it. Like Trump tries to be funny, but it's not. So Tim Walz is the choice, and they are moving around the spaces. So if you can go and see them, see them. I am disappointed because I was supposed to go see the VP with her VP pick tomorrow, actually in Savannah. So I got a big smile on my face because it's not to cry because that was delayed or canceled, that event. So I'm kind of sad about that, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So he is like, I have mad respect for Tim Walz. He's a veteran, and as well as he is also a former teacher, which I love, taught social studies, so he knows some things. He also, listen, go look him up, because I think when people say they don't know who he is, they don't know anything about him, that tells me that in this world, another conflict, you all, here's another conflict. I'm just going to insert it. So if you don't recognize, I'm going to tell you what it is, that we don't even take the time to, do our own research. We live in a world that we want everyone to tell us everything. Like, oh, guess what? I'm going to tell you about your life. I'm going to tell you about this. I'm going to tell you about that. And so now when it comes to politics, we want to be told, but we just want to go and vote. And so no, the most important thing for people to do is go look him up. And Trump said something the other day when he was he was asked about his VP pick, J.D. Vance. And Trump said, you're not voting for the VP, you're voting for me. The VP is like secondary, the VP is whatever. But I can tell you something, that the VP pick can make or break a campaign. The truth of that is very truthful. But you know what? A VP pick can also have energy and light in this space. So if you're out there, drop me a comment, drop me a note. Let me know how you feel about this Harris Walz with a Z at the end. And not with the T, because I know my Black people will add a T to the last name and he'll be like Waltz or something. I don't know why we do that, but it's a community thing. But let me know about how you are feeling in the space of this Harris Waltz pairing. And good morning, Tavana. Good morning, Lorraine. And oh my gosh, someone says you are doing very well. And I wish I could pronounce your last name. I wish. So good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. And welcome again. So we have Tim Walz. And then I just want to say, if you guys have, if you have children in the room, cover their ears, because I think the most scandalous thing since I last saw you all was, I don't want to call it penis gate, but I'm going to call it penis gate, y'all, because I think he was from Australia. I don't remember where that young man was. The pole vaulter that lost his opportunity for gold in the not the United States, at the Olympics, because he, his private parts hit the pole. And yeah, that is, child, the memes. I actually haven't seen a meme. I've seen paintings, which is wild. I'm like, y'all are really painting this already. But listen, it's a wild, wild world out here. And to date, last I checked, the United States was in the leading at the Olympics. China was in second place. And then also, I don't know what is going on. I love France. Let me just say that. I've been to France a couple times. Is one of my favorite places to hang out. Paris, I feel like I've been to Paris once. And when I say Paris, and I think everyone would agree with me, when you think of Paris, you think of the Eiffel Tower. So I can say, yes, I've been there, done that. And I like to go into the neighborhoods and see everything else. I love history, but I don't think France should have the Olympics ever again, because the beginning of that, yeah, y'all, the opening ceremonies was suspect to me. I don't know, that horse galloping. I swear it felt like they were galloping for 20 years. And I was like, I didn't think the sun was that long. And I've seen it. So, but we have everything from, the sun being full of E. coli and the swimmers having to, go swim in that, right? Which is wild, absolutely wild. Um, and then, people are talking about there's worms in the food. I don't know if y'all saw that, but worms in the food, y'all. Worms in the food. I'm stuck there. But it is just, and then there was an Australian that was arrested for buying cocaine. Listen, this is a wild world that people are going through at the Olympics. And so I think it's 2038 that France is supposed to host the Winter Olympics. Y'all, I don't know. I could do without it. This is kind of dull. If I didn't know that it was Olympic season, I think I would miss it. But I am looking forward to breakdancing because breakdancing is in the Olympics for the first time, and so I am waiting to see that. I'm gonna take a sip, y'all. So welcome, welcome. I say welcome, fam. Hey, Lorraine. Yes, I agree with you. I love the energy on the Harris Waltz ticket. We needed that energy right now. It gives us a space of hope. It gives us a space of movement building where we feel as if we can all collectively gather and do something together. I don't care what they say about her pick, fraction people. Listen, at this time, you got to pick a team. And we only have two choices for president, and we need to select and get it together. Okay. And then Shira, Renee, good morning to you, sister. Good morning. Welcome to the show. So it's just a lot of, we need that energy. We need some positivity because I swear if we are under one more war, one more conflict, we've got people burning up the place in Venezuela over political challenges. We've got wildfires, we've got flooding. Yemen, we had a huge flood hit Yemen the other day. So many people displaced. I mean, I don't know if we can just sit down and have a day of just like, okay, can we just breathe, right? I feel like, can the world just breathe? That is my hope for the world. Um, yeah, so question on the table is how do you feel about the Harris Waltz ticket? Are they energizing you? Are you upset as we bring on our guest? And so I'm going to tell you, I didn't even listen. There are some people that I encounter that every once in a while I'm like, and I'm not easily impressed. I've been told that I'm not easily impressed, but this sister impressed me, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second. But desk for Kadada, what is on my desk of today? I don't have anything in particular, but I will say this though, that my home, I swear, has turned into like the come and hang out spots at Kadada's house. So I'm not saying y'all can come visit me, but I am loving it. I've had my sister girls over here for drinks and dinners and just get-togethers. So I love that interaction with them. My bestie Max was here, and she is now calling my home her home, which I love. And we have like sister girl energy, so we fight all the time, which is funny. So she was with me almost 2 weeks. And then the best gift of all for me, you all, and I'm going to whisper it because she's sleeping and I don't want to get in trouble. My mommy is here. So the fact that my mommy is here makes me super duper happy. I got out my car yesterday. I parked my car. I'm not the pull up on somebody at the airport type of person, but I was super excited. I'm that person that would fly down the hall running to see my mommy. And guess what? My mommy is my twin. We look exactly alike, except for that she has white, silver hair, the hair that I am. Hopefully, one day, all of this will turn white platinum. That is my goal. And so, yes, that is super exciting for me today. That's what I am here for. So, let me just tell you. So, I have this sister girl. So she signed up because I put a call out about, I wanted to talk about faith and Bible, and we have had some conversations. So if you go back and see my Facebook Live, because my producer is working on putting out all of my shows on Spotify and all of these wonderful jazzy places. And so, but I put it out there because I think sometimes we never really have discussions about faith, spirituality, and if you are a Christian, if you have a defined religion, like whether you're Buddhist or Christianity or Judaism, if that is the life that you lead, we don't really talk about that in the space of our lives openly. And so I've started to have those kind of conversations. And so she signed up, and I spoke with her yesterday, and I'm telling you all, Miss Tivona, like, she is one of my sister girls for life. She is in Oklahoma, and hopefully she'll come to Atlanta one day, because I don't know about Oklahoma. That's a little far for me, but it's not that I won't go. But what caught my attention in reading her, not only her bio, because she does some wonderful, amazing things that we're going to talk about, is that she used a term in relationship to overcoming trauma, and she's overcome her trauma. And if we are all truthful, we are either overcoming and working through all of our trauma. And yeah, that is, but she used the word rebrand. And I went, wait a minute, that's a business term. And we normally don't associate business with personal lives in our healing. So that caught my attention. And I was like, I need to speak to her and have her on the show, because she is full of biblical wisdom. She is full of the wisdom of being an overcomer and a survivor. And she shares that gift with others. And she has a judgment free zone concept, which, if you know me personally, I don't play about people. And because I love a good safe space, right? And so that is why I wanted her on this show today. And so I just want to be clear. Because I like a good definition, once again, learning moments, but I want to define trauma for you all, and at the highest level, because in the United States, I'm not going to talk about anybody else, or let me expand to westernized cultures. There seems to be a disregard for trauma in this world and the part it plays in how we interact and how we engage with others, and what the impact is. And so I just took a portion of the definition of trauma, but what really, everything's always of interest to me, right? Because I just had that curious spirit. But it's, so trauma is when it's a severe distressing event outside the range of the normal experience. And I had to underline the word normal, because I'm like, a normal experience. and the thing is, everyone's normal is different, right? Because guess what? There are some people who live inside of trauma, and that in and of itself is normal to them, even though it's unhealthy. So, yeah. So, and I pulled some domestic violence um, statistics because, I think domestic violence is something that we recognize more openly than anything else in this space. And so, y'all, I'm looking around because I'm like, why is my computer not charging very well? It's like, it's just okay for all of us who believe in retrograde at the moment. We're not going to have that conversation too much. But back to the statistics. So in the United States, there are 10 million, let me say that again, 10 million with the big M, domestic violence incidences in the United States. Isn't that wild? That means 1 in 4 women experience it, and I think it's 1 out of 10 men, no, 1 out of 9 men experience domestic violence. Y'all, I don't know when it was normalized that it was just like, hey, it's okay to abuse people. I don't know. So Yoruba, my awesome producer, if we can take a break so I can take a good sip of my junior's coffee this morning. And we can bring our guest on. So good morning, Emily, I see you. Good morning, Patrice Taylor. Good morning, Queen. Thank you, Colette. I see you, sis. Hello, good morning, good morning. If you're joining, I would love to hear how you are feeling about the new VP pick. We were talking earlier about the VP picking her VP. So what do you all feel about that? Drop that in the chat. Say hello to everyone. And y'all, we're going to take a second and I am going to sip on my coffee because that's a thing. Or y'all gonna watch me for a second. And hopefully I look cute. So I don't know. We'll just make it work. But I'm still going to sip on this coffee while we are waiting. And Lorraine, yes, I will tell my mommy hello for you. I love when my family is here joining me. And then we have, Brian Elder. Hey, friend. Oh my gosh, some of us go way, way back. Way. Yes. So sometimes I just say, yes, let's go ahead and bring her on, but I'm still going to sip my coffee, y'all. And I promised Ms. Tavona that we're going to look cute this morning. So we're going to try our best to look cute. Welcome to Life Coaching Today Presents, hosted by Kadana.
One of the biggest challenges for coaches, practitioners, and hypnotherapists is getting clients. As coaches ourselves, we know how difficult it is on social media to stand out and gain credibility. That is why at Life Coaching Today, we connect coaches like you with clients. It all starts with our directory, where it's possible to create a profile that gets the right exposure with over 12,000 hits a month. You can gain credibility by writing for Life Coaching Today magazine, add videos, be interviewed on our podcast, teach classes in the community, and sell your products directly from our website. Not to mention, we actually connect clients who are actively searching for coaches who can best serve them. So if you are struggling to get clients, have Life Coaching Today help you get more clients. Go to lifecoachingtoday.com.
Hey, you all, welcome back to Life Coaching Today Presents with me, Kadada Esmera Gray, your conflict coach. And y'all, I just want to say thank you all for getting up with me so early in the morning. And I see my sister, one of my sister girls, was like, good morning, struggle bus. Listen, the struggle bus is sincerely real, y'all, sincerely real. This is the only day of the week I get up early unless there are flights to catch. Because that part, If it ain't a flight, I ain't trying to get up early. So that's the blessing that I have for working for myself. And so I just want to say, welcome, sister. Welcome, welcome. You go by Lady V. And so I'm going to respect it and call you Lady V. And before we get into it, I realize everybody in the chat, I need to know what your thoughts are on this, because I was like, darn it. Every time I see something, I'm like, sugar, I forgot to mention this. So yesterday, here's a question for your spirituality and anyone who's living in the petty space. So follow me here. Follow me. Follow me. So yesterday in Atlanta, because in Atlanta is not a real place. I swear Atlanta is like Wakanda, and everything happens here in like the wildest way. So there were two evictions yesterday that went public, and it was huge. So one, there was the Beauty Mart down in Clayco, I think it was. And so beauty marts are hair, get your hair products and blah, 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 right? So yesterday they got evicted. And so they put all the products in the parking lot, put some like the crime scene tape around it. The police were there, but I don't know how long the police were there for. And people started to gather. So that's the first one. The second one, we had a nightclub. I'm not going to say the name. Well, I can't remember the name of the nightclub, but the nightclub, they got evicted. So it was literally like everybody come and get the liquor, get the stools. I mean, everything. So it was all in the streets. And so, Jennifer, I see, what must you do to be a business and get put out? So it only takes close to 60 days for an eviction notice to be executed, even in business. And so it's my understanding, and I don't know if it's true because I don't know anything about the nightclub except for if someone got a bottle of rum, listen, I need it. We're not gonna say that. Y'all didn't hear me say that. We're gonna cut that clip. We're gonna cut that clip. But it takes about 60 days to be evicted. And so, like for the beauty mart, it's my understanding that the owner died, and they were waiting for the family to come and get everything. Now, when I tell you they took out the whole store, I'm talking about weaves. They took the weaves on the racks, put them out. So here's my question. And so, do you think that when the products or from an eviction are put out, because we see people's homes get evicted, right? We see furniture on the street, and then you see people just swarm and take it. Do you think that is stealing? What do you think about that? Because there's a lot of people who are just like, it's free. So, Lady V, you get to answer the question first, sis. What do you think about that?
So, yes, it is still. I mean, it sounds good, it looks good, but it's just like the riots. Just the only thing is they didn't have to break nothing to get it. They didn't have to run in to get it. It was sitting right there. But it is stealing. It don't belong to you. You didn't pay for it. It didn't have a free sign on it. It didn't say come get it. So it's stealing. And even when we are evicted from our homes, that's still it. Because
Yeah,
you're now taking somebody else's property that
right.
belongs to them. You're
Yeah,
taking something that they cherish, that they need. And as businesses, it ain't cheap. A lot
right.
of times we're putting our own money into this. And a lot of people don't look at that because a lot of people don't have businesses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they don't care because they don't have a business. But
Right.
when you have a business, you're more, unless you are a shade tree business, I'm gonna say just like that, unless you're shady.
I was like, wait a minute. Did she say? Did she say shady? A shady business. Okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna have a conversation about that later. A shady business. Okay.
and you need that, and I understand that people need stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard out here. It
Mhm.
really is hard out here. However, it doesn't make it right.
Right.
And they say when you know better, you do better. And so you gotta really like, even me as a human, I like to put myself in these situations,
Right.
and I think to myself, I would, but then I would be convicted. My heart wouldn't allow me to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it wouldn't feel right. And so you have to know right from wrong. And
Mm.
you know that's wrong. But hey, to each his own. There's no judgment over here. If that's what you choosing to do, go ahead, but remember that you're not just taking from you, you're taking from a whole family that because you don't know people's situation.
Right. Right.
You don't know what people's going through. And like I said, as a business owner, I understand when you're investing your own money into your business. And people don't understand that that's what happens a lot. A lot of time we're not getting funded. We're not getting
Right.
these certain things. And so we have to be more mindful of how we move around here, how we move in this industry. So that's
Well,
my take on it. So
thank
y'all
you.
not feeling.
So, like I said, put it in your put it in the chat for all the shady business owners.
Just
So
shade.
just shady, and but here's the thing. I'm going to say this too, and then we'll move on. Because one, put it in the chat how you think about it, and brothers, I see y'all out there, man. I need y'all to engage this morning. I know y'all awake. So, but it's interesting though, because what the argument is that they're just going to throw it away, right? They're just going to throw it away. And y'all, we know weaves are expensive, y'all. We know that real hair is expensive.
It
So,
is.
so I was
It's
like,
a lot of weaves walking around this morning in
you know
Atlanta.
what? You know what? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Lady V. See, Jennifer, this one here need to come to Atlanta and hang out because she a problem, a whole problem. And we love it. We love her. So, Lady V, I'm going to give you a few minutes to introduce yourself to my audience. And because I don't tend to tell people stories, I want you to tell us who you are and what it is that you currently do. And we do know, y'all, that she is not stealing anything from the beauty market. So,
Nah, I ain't finna steal nothing. I'm gonna have to pass on that one. Look, I'm afraid I can't do metal, okay? I'm allergic to metal. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm allergic to it, okay? I'm allergic to bars. I'm just allergic to it. I can't even do it. So I won't be stealing nothing. You better believe that. But I am Lady V. So good morning, good morning, good morning, all my beautiful queens and kings. Good morning. Good morning. I am your favorite spiritual release coach. See, I have to say that because I want you to know that I ain't just anybody. I'm your favorite spiritual release coach, which means that I am the person that will dig down deep up in you. Because a lot of times we like to think that we go to therapy and we're healing ourselves, we're releasing ourselves, we're doing all these things, and a lot of times just really touching the surface, because our counselors will allow us to touch the surface. They're not going to dig real deep. They're going to just let you talk about what you want to talk about, and get that off your chest, and let you feel real good when you're done. Well, I ain't gonna do that. I'm sorry.
she said she's not going to do that.
Yeah. I'm just
um, Lady
when you
V,
come to me.
I need you not to come out swinging so
Okay,
hard.
my bad.
Okay,
But when you come to me, we dig deep. Okay, we dig. I am the one who go to the bottom of the barrel and dig out the sticky stuff that people don't like to touch.
That's right. I love it.
That's who I am. And why I do that is because I realized that I was once that person who just talked to my counselor just because I didn't want to touch what was the core of what was hurting. I didn't want to touch that because it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't like to do that. We don't like to do stuff that hurt us. But I had to, because I realized that in order to heal, you gotta break.
Yes.
Period. No
Ooh.
way around it. You can't heal if you don't want to break. You can't heal if you're afraid to break. And so I was that person because, as y'all see, I have a very strong personality. And so I've always been strong, even though I carry a lot of things and I carry a lot of weight. I I was holding all these, well, I don't anymore, but I was carrying all these things that was hurting me and hindering me from my greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I actually give individuals the tools to
Mm-hmm.
be able to release the trauma, the hurt that's really bothering them, that's really affecting them, that's really causing them not to roar in their greatness. And when I say roar, I mean roaring in your greatness, I mean releasing old narratives. That means releasing that baggage that you're holding on to, because guess what? You can't get anywhere if you're holding on to it. Okay. And
Right.
then I want you to overcome the obstacles that's standing in your way,
Mm.
because we don't realize that we have a lot of these obstacles that we don't want to jump over. We don't want to cross these hurdles, but we have to. And then I want you to awaken the rebel within.
Mm.
Meaning that it's a person that's inside there that's waiting on you to just awaken it. It's waiting on you. You ain't waiting on it. See, a lot of times we like, oh, oh, my life is just so, and oh my gosh, and we just woe is me all the time. But if you really realize that you have a beast inside of you that's waiting for
Mm.
you to awaken and release it. And once you awaken that rebel that's inside of you, you actually find your voice, which means that now you can rise to the occasion to be what? Your greatest self, your authentic self. And that's where we want to be in our life. Because once you start getting to that point, now you can start living the life that you really truly want to live. For instance, financial freedom. A lot of us want financial freedom, but we don't know how to get to it. Well, if you
Mm.
start eliminating these things that's standing in your way, you can get to that financial freedom. But you got to release. So you got to go back to the beginning.
Mm.
You can't roar in your greatness if you don't start at the beginning, which is release. And so
Ooh.
that's what I do. I teach individuals how to roar in their greatness. And so if you understood that, release, overcome, awaken, and rise.
Ooh. Listen,
Let's roar.
you done came with some stuff this morning. And you came with the wisdom, which I love, and I still need your 10 minutes of wisdom. So I want to speak to this idea of breaking. I want to speak to a couple things. So, we we are taught in the Western world, um, that we're supposed to be strong, right? We're supposed to be noble and stoic. And regardless of whatever it is that we are going through, we are supposed to just keep it stuck down and inside of us and trapped. Now, for some of us who do the healing work, um, we know that inwardly we have our inner child. So that inner child is the little person that you were, right? Because you grew into an adult. That all of
Mhm.
those things as an inner child that we have had to deal with as a child, right? We've got to figure out in our adulthood how to mature that child into that space. And so,
Exactly.
and if we are traumatized, right, that child cannot handle those distressing events. And so we as adults behave in a certain way because
Mhm.
of that, right? So we push back, we might be nasty to other people, we might hide, we might sexually act out, we might commit crimes, we might do all kinds of things because we have not learned the tools
Mhm.
to actually execute and heal and understand why our behaviors are what they are. And, so that's important to note when we talk about doing that inner work, right? That inner work and releasing all of those things. And you make a great point. Like, you can go to a therapist. And I want y'all to understand there are different types of therapists out there. And if you just want to chat it up, I would say go see a regular therapist. But if you want to change your behavior, really change your behavior, you need to go see a cognitive behavioral therapist, because cognitive is in your head. It is your thoughts. It is changing to work, to change, to dismantle and change your thought patterns, okay? And how it is that you interact daily. And so I do know some people who hustle their therapist, but I'm gonna leave that alone today. I just want to call their therapist and be like, listen, it's not working.
Okay.
It's not working.
There's a
We
lot of y'all out there, but I'm just gonna sip on my
are
coffee this morning.
because we are not seeing any results. But
Mm-mm.
I want to say this too. You know, that idea of breaking is it is so scary,
It is.
because we don't know how we land when we break, right? And I
Exactly.
always tell people, and it took me a while to understand this, that when we break and something shatters, you know, we don't understand that you might be shattered on the floor, but the pieces of you are still there.
Mm-hmm.
You can still glimmer and shine for all of those pieces as you are still trying to put yourself back together. So the shattering is not a bad thing. It's just a puzzle. It's just a puzzle piece. Just go ahead, just take one piece and put it back together, right? And that's how we rebuild. So, sis, I appreciate you being with us this morning, and I know you have a story to tell. And so I saw that Patrice said that she's a domestic violence survivor, and a lot of us are, a lot of women are, or we saw this type of trauma in our families. And so, and let me just say, if you witness trauma, you experience trauma as well. Dear world, can I say that again? If you witness trauma, you are experience trauma as well. So can we please recognize for all of our inner child, our inner children, um, out in this world, our babies are witnessing trauma and they need assistance immediately. So when they are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, 50s, and 60s, they are not still trying to figure this out, right? And struggling. So if you would, if you feel comfortable, can you please share with the audience some of the trauma that you had to overcome?
Man, fabulous. Look, first of all, I just want everyone to know that I definitely agree with what you just said as well, with our children. And we have to really look and understand that things we're going through, our children go through. You
Mm,
know, I come from an era of what happens in this house stays in this house.
yes, yes.
And so my story now, when I'm out here speaking, is to shatter. I don't want to break the silence, but I want to shatter the silence. And let me tell you why I shatter the silence. I shatter the silence because once you shatter something,
Mm,
you can't just piece it back together. You
yep.
actually have to really rebrand it now. You have
Mm,
to rebuild it again, because when you break something, you can put that back together. It ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be as cute, but
yep.
you have to really, you know what I'm saying? You could put that back together. But when you shatter something, you might as well just throw it away because it ain't gonna come back. Not like that. When you
Right.
shatter it, that means that you are shattering this, and now you are about to rebuild something so beautiful
Mm,
because you're sick and tired.
yeah.
My mama used to tell me, when you're tired and you're sick and tired, you'll do something about it. Well, I got sick and tired of being in secret. I got sick and tired
Mm,
of being in the shadows of my trauma. I got sick and tired of knowing that my story could help somebody else go through it. And so this is my story, and I'm gonna make it real short and quick. Um, I was molested at the age of 8.
mm,
And by the age of 15, I was a madam. By the age of 21, I was running and running and running for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been
mm,
taking care of myself since I was 10. That's all I've ever known how to do was survive. because I've been running my whole entire life. I
Mm.
just turned 48 on July the 30th. And
Yes.
I decided to, you know, it took me a long time to get to this point, but I knew that it was time for me to say no more. Because somebody out there is hurting today. I
Mm.
went through a marriage that I jumped into it out of spite. He jumped into it out of convenience.
Mm.
And see, we don't, a lot of times we don't understand that the things that we do, we actually do to ourselves. We put ourselves in these situations.
Yes.
Why? Because of our childhood trauma. I
Yes.
was told that I would never amount to nothing. I was told that I wasn't anybody. Nobody will listen to your story. Nobody is going to care about what you're talking about. I've been told that my whole entire life.
Mm.
And as a child, you feel like that. Just like when they tell you, if you say something, I'm gonna kill everybody in your whole family and this, that, and that. You
That's right.
don't know as a child. You don't know that. How do you know? Because people really out here killing people.
That's right. Talk
You
about it.
know, for real, people out here really killing people. So how do
Mm.
you really know as a child? Like, we have to stop putting these pressures on our children, thinking that they're supposed to handle all this stuff because we're out here handling this. They can't handle that type of trauma. You are adding trauma that they don't need.
Mm.
Like the stresses of going to school. And a lot of times we think, oh, that ain't no stress, but they're dealing with bullying just as we're dealing with adult bullies. They're
Yep.
dealing with, peer pressure. Some of y'all as adults deal with peer pressure on your jobs, peer pressure in your households, peer pressure, you know what I'm saying? In the events and in your business that you're doing. We have to understand that a child's mind cannot take all of that.
Mm.
You want them and then you get mad because now they're not standing in the child's place.
Yep.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have them as an adult and a child. You need to figure it out and make up your mind. You the one confused,
Mm. Mm.
not them. And so as that little girl that was inside, that was hurt and that was traumatized, because and let me say this too, because even as an adult, I didn't realize that domestic violence just didn't consider as you being physical.
Mm.
See, a lot of
Mm.
people, y'all don't even know that y'all been domestically abused.
Right. Mm. Can you provide
And then,
an example for us?
oh,
Provide an
don't worry about this
example.
too. Don't worry
Okay.
about this.
All right.
And,
All
and
right.
see, I want the men to listen to this very well.
Mm.
See, now I'm talking to my brothers and my fellas out there, because I want you to understand that when she talking to you crazy, that's domestic abuse.
Mm.
Let me tell you why. If women, I know y'all supposed to be real upset about it, but I don't care, because guess what? I'm not biased with it, because I'm gonna tell you just like I'm gonna tell the fellas the same
That's
thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, oh no, because I'm a woman. No, wait a minute, hold on. I gotta check myself sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
See, we
Yeah.
have to start checking ourselves sometimes, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we talk to these fellas like they are nothing. How do we expect them to be kings of our households? How do we expect them to be the men that we want them to be if we talk to them like they are children?
Mm.
Somebody make it make sense to me. We can't. We have to really understand that what we do is effective to the people that love us,
Right.
our children, our women, our men. We can't be, we are so divided right now. And we're
Mm-hmm.
divided because of society.
Right.
Because of the society belief. We got to stop worrying about what society is telling us to do and what society is thinking. We have to know that, guess what? What we say out of our mouths means it is powerful.
Yes.
He tell us in our basic instructions. And that's what I like to call them, our basic instructions, okay? So that there's power in the tongue. The
Mm.
things that we say out of our mouth, we can manifest. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're always, oh, I'm so sick, you're sick because you manifested sickness upon you.
Yes, girl, you're right. Wait a minute, Lady B. Let me just stop you and just say, listen, y'all, my coffee got a little cold, And as Lady B was talking, my coffee started to warm up because she is bringing all the heat, and she done told us that she is an equal opportunity cusser outer. So we know everybody's getting
I love
everybody.
that. I'm gonna have to use that.
Go ahead, use it, girl. I mean, it's interesting because this morning in my spirit, I woke up and I could talk for hours about stuff, right? And I literally in my spirit said this morning, we are so divided. Men and women are so divided. And I appreciate you talking to the sisters and the women out here, right? Because we don't honor this idea of men being emotionally and physically abused. We don't even address their violence that comes from women, but we know it to be true because
It
we
is.
witness it, right? We witness it, and we don't realize that we have little people that are watching and will grow up and replicate this type of behavior. And
Exactly.
so it is a blessing that you are here today. It is a blessing that you are able to speak life. And you talk about there is power in the tongue. Says, yes, we are talking about the manifestation of the things that we want and need, right? So speak life. Life. Here's the challenge though. When you are unhealthy, you cannot speak life.
Because
You
you don't know what life is.
You don't know
You
what
have
life,
no
you don't
idea.
even know what a healthy life looks like.
Right.
And so I went to look up because the researcher in me is always like, okay, I'm just curious, right? What does the world tell us about coping with trauma? Right? So I know for me, I have to write. Words are super important to me. So I have to
Yeah.
write things down. I have to get it off my chest. I am a crier. So as I need to cry because I need to release it from my system because
That's
when you are dealing with trauma and pain, for me, it manifests in my body.
right. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually absorb other people's pain and I
Mm-hmm.
can feel other people's pain. So I can literally tell when someone's upset because my body it impacts it.
Me
So I
too.
was kind of looking at, we are always in the space of everybody go to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody go to therapy. But the truth of the matter is everyone can't afford therapy. Some of our
Exactly.
some of our health plans don't even come with therapy as an option. So I was looking like, okay, so what does a healthy coping mechanism look like for someone who wants to they want to talk about it, but they have all of these obstacles, and one of the obstacles is I don't want to shatter and break, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting to me that I found in this one sentence stuck with me because it says seek out healthy support. Hmm.
Exactly.
And so let me just explain. The reason that was interesting to me is because we tend to go to our friends and we tend to dump onto them our emotional issues in labor, one without permission. So now they are dealing with your emotional stress and labor and all that drama. And then they're not clear why it is you cut them off because you cannot absorb any more of their trauma. And so the question is, what, in your opinion, as a coach, how do you tell people what to do? What are some action items that people can take in the space of trying to begin to address and recognize? Because that's the other thing. Some people may not even recognize that they have trauma. So I'm going to give
They
you the.
don't recognize it. That's the reason why they walk in their trauma every
Mhm,
day. Because
mhm,
they actually, you have to know that some people don't even believe they have trauma. They
that
don't
part.
even believe that anything is wrong with them.
Yes.
So they don't realize that they have this toxic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it takes, and this is what I noticed, ladies, and this is real bad with women. We got this real bad. And it doesn't matter what your race is or nothing. Because race was not an issue with this. It's just that it's just women.
Ooh.
We Our girlfriends can tell us something 100 times, and we be, all right, girl. Yeah, all right, girl. All right. Soon as he walk along and tell us, it's golden.
That's right.
It's the best thing on the earth. And sometimes that's what we need. I mean, it's sad, but we can take we can take the criticism from somebody else better than we can take it from the people that really truly love us. Like, if he said it, even though he don't really care or he don't really love us, he just doing, but he said it, it's golden. Now we recognize that, oh, maybe I got a problem. You know,
I
because
can't with you. I cannot.
I mean, we all guilty of it, but I want people to understand that in your trauma, when if you just listen to yourself sometimes and you hear yourself lashing out at somebody that's working, maybe somebody that's a customer service or something, and they ain't really did nothing to you, you just lashing out at them just because, take a step back and say, oh, wait a minute. Sometimes we have to listen to ourselves. And that's the problem. We don't listen to ourselves because we think that we're always right.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we start to evaluate ourselves, because people who want to grow evaluate themselves on a daily basis. Why? Because we want to grow, and we understand that every day, if you're not learning something new every single day, you're not growing.
Mm.
You just being stagnant in this life, in this world, because you ain't learned nothing today. I can ask 5 people what you learned today. I bet you I could tell you, even on this morning from 5 to 7, I could tell you what I've learned in the 2 hours period since I've been up. I could tell you things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where some people, they can go a whole day and not know anything. I didn't learn anything today.
Right.
And they probably did, but they wasn't listening. They wasn't paying attention. And that's the problem. We don't pay attention to the things that mean something.
Mm.
We don't pay attention to the things that's really important to us that can actually help us change and be better than who we are. Like right now, you're learning something on this line today. Right now, you're learning how to cope. If you're not taking these tools to cope with your trauma, then you didn't learn anything from here. You
Right.
just you're lurking. And that's what I tell people. You're just lurking. You're just trying to find something to do. Don't find something to do unless you're doing it to the best of the benefit of you.
Wow.
If
Mm.
it's not gonna benefit you to be a better person, then it ain't worth it. Like I tell people, watch what you watch what you see, watch what you hear, watch, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't watch TV a lot.
Mm.
Why? Because that puts a lot of negativity in your system. When you're watching the news every single day, all you see is bad, 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 a good, bad, 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 a
Right.
good, bad, 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 bad. So you putting more bad than you are good into your system.
Yeah.
And when you're putting all this negative energy in your system, then you're producing negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
When you start putting positive energy, then like I meditate in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's funny because I'm going to use this show and because I like to use my own experiences and because I am very spiritual and I like to be very transparent of who I am. Okay. So Kadana told me about the show and I'm like, okay, it wasn't on my calendar, but I'm like, all right, I'm there. It don't matter. Well, when she said what time it was, I was like,
Y'all, she was really like,
You said a what? Because I have to remember we're on different time zones. So I got to say, huh? You want me to be up at what? That's my sleeping time. I can't look this beautiful without being asleep. I need that. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted that, but let me tell you this. I knew that this morning I had to do what I had to do for me. And then God also told me in the mix of the times, he said, it's going to be some times that you're going to have to get up early because this is what you are choosing to do. This is your assignment.
yes.
And so you have to be ready. and prepare for whatever is thrown your way. And it don't matter what time of day or
Mm,
night it is, you
mm,
get to be ready because this is your assignment.
mm.
So even though I didn't want to be up this early, here I am, baby, looking beautiful, ready to go and pumped up, ready to
That's
give you
right,
the
girl.
information.
That's
Why?
it.
Because I had to be roar in my greatness. I had to understand that this is my assignment.
Mm,
This is my assignment. And only way you can be good is to do what you've been called to do. Sometimes we don't even know our purpose.
yeah, yeah.
I help people find their purpose because I hold you accountable.
Mm,
And a lot of times it's so simple. It's so simple. Really, and to find your purpose means that guess what? You really need to sit and think what you're good at.
mm.
What is it that you love to do? Some of y'all got hobbies that y'all really good at, and you don't even know that that's really your purpose.
That's your purpose. Yep.
Even when you think that it's small, like knitting. Man, knit clothes is coming out so bad, crochet
Oh,
clothes and
yes.
stuff like
Yep.
it is a fad right now. You are leaving money on the table. Some of y'all want to be financial free, but you can't be financial free because you refuse to use your gifts. God gave you these gifts for a reason. So that's why I'm telling you. And so be great. Know that it's okay to step out of your boundaries, of your comfort zone. That's
Mm,
what I have to do. I have to bust down and step out of my comfort zone a lot. And so I have to do that. I have to learn how to do that. And what I do, I meditate.
mm.
That's what I'm going to tell you guys. Meditate in the morning. Soon as you wake up, even if it's 5 minutes, meditate.
Right.
Because what you put in your system will last throughout your day.
Yep.
Even when people bring craziness to me, and trust me, they bring craziness to me all day because I'm a life coach. This is what they do. Everybody got problems, you know? And at first, I used to take on people's problems because, again, I'm an empath too. I can feel other people's energy.
Yes.
And so I know it don't matter. You can be way across the country from me, but I can feel like something's wrong with you. Like
Mm,
right now, I can feel that Kadada is really feeling this interview. She's wrapped up in it. Her spirit is wrapped up in this interview. She's taking it in breathlessly. Like she's like, I needed that. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all doing the same thing right now because you need that. You need that fresh breath of air for you.
mm.
For you. It ain't for nobody else. Sometimes we just too busy living for everybody else. Take time for yourself. If you take 30 minutes a day for you, sometimes we don't even think that it works, but it will. 30 minutes a day for you. Take that out for you. Everybody, oh, I got kids, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that, and you're a hot mess.
See, I'm gonna stop you right there.
I'm just saying, you're a hot mess.
And so I wanna I wanna kind of recap some of these tools that you're saying, and I want to speak to some of them. So, I love the well, first of all, before I get into it, I need to say that thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your honesty, including about getting up this morning. And then I want to tell my sister girl, Jennifer Simmons, to hush because she was trying to co-sign about getting on here early, getting up early. She know every Thursday, this every Thursday. I don't know why she acting brand new. Um,
Hey.
Brand new, y'all, brand new. So, so you said evaluate yourself, right? And so, you said watch what you consume, right? Because that is
Mhm.
super important.
Yeah.
I work as a political consultant as one of my gigs, and I can't watch the news. Um,
Mhm.
I love to. I literally, if you all are the Roku, Fubu generation sling, I promise y'all, I watch. If you come to my house sometimes, you will see I will have the pet collective on, so I can see pets and animals all day. She says she's not hushing. You see how she has no not one lick of home training. And so, so watch what you're consuming, right? Because what you're adding into your spirit, um, you don't need negative stuff. That's why I don't even watch scary movies. I don't want it. I don't want
Mhm.
it. And then you talked about meditation, which I love, and that for everyone who's like, I don't know how to meditate. Listen, I'm gonna need you to sit down, turn everything off, and just sit quietly. And
Mhm.
you sit quietly. And the goal is not to have anything in your brain. So this comes with practice. So you can hear your higher self and your higher power speaking to you. So it is a practice. And sometimes you just have to do 1 minute at a time. Like I meditate and I always tell people I'm not a good prayer. Like me and prayer, we don't go well together because when I start praying, I'm like, wait a minute, like I start, dear Lord, da 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 da. Wait a minute, what do I need to eat for dinner tonight? So I'm that person. That the Lord is still working on my prayer game. So it's like listen, we're not lying up in
At
here.
least you're honest.
It's hard for me. Be ready for your assignment. I like that. But I'm going to put that down at the bottom because that is something that you can't even get to if you are still trying to evaluate yourself and then be accountable. And that level of accountability should come in knowing and understanding your own actions when you said listen to yourself. But I want to give a tip though about the space of meditation and evaluating yourself because when you are evaluating yourself, and I tell people you've got to like all of you. That means the good, the bad, the ugly of you. And when you are honest with yourself, you should be able to understand why you made every choice that you made. And when you do that, you have to be really clear, not only about why you made the choices, and I'm so clear that I understand the consequences that come from those as well. And so I
Mhm.
tell people you have to determine and honest, right? Because it's the honesty that grows us and brings us forward. Let's be honest. That's the honesty that heals our inner child, right? So I can tell people there are some choices that made me sad. There are some choices that I made that made me happy. And then there are some choices that I made that I didn't give a damn about. And when I can say that,
Mm.
right, then I'm standing in my truth. And
Yes.
then you can move along the path to say, why did I choose that path? And you still have to do that work, right?
Mm.
Like I have major safety issues. And so it took me all these years of my life, as we say in the Caribbean, to be 49. So I think it was in my 48th year that it hit me as someone who has been stalked by men, who's someone that has been harmed by men. And I was like, okay, so that is like the surface level of it all. But I was like, where did my safety issue come from? And my
Mm.
safety issue came from as a little girl being in a home of domestic violence and me inserting myself as a protector to my mother.
Mhm.
Little people aren't supposed to be in that space.
No.
And it took me all these years to be able to pinpoint that honesty and that those incidents to say, this is why I behave this way now. Right. And so that I wanted to provide that example because in subsequent examples, because I want people to understand you can do the work. You
Mhm.
might cry through it. You might be angry about it. You might want to comfort some people about it. But the goal is not to worry about them, it's to worry about you and heal yourself. So, one of the things that I like to do, grab your phone, because sometimes, you got to utilize whatever tool that you have that works for you. And so, one of the best tools that I like using is I like to use my voice recorder and I speak into my voice recorder
Mm.
because I need to get it out of my system. And it's safe. And it's literally you talking to you.
Mhm.
What in that's a safe space. If you can't talk to your own self, I don't know who you can talk to. I'm just
Some
gonna
of y'all need to be honest with yourselves, because some of y'all be lying to yourselves too. I'm just gonna say that. Some of y'all be honest with you.
be
If
honest and let
if
me tell
you yeah,
you.
you got to and journal. I like
And
journaling.
journal too. If you are a writer, journal helps. And so let me tell you something. Honesty comes with hurt. It does. Truth can be hurtful. And we need to understand that. And that doesn't mean that the pain, listen, you can tell somebody with honesty, but your intention is not to be harmful. Because I think we need to understand about honesty. And I just want to say this too, as you are doing the work to heal your inner child, to overcome your trauma, to rebrand the narrative of who you are in your life currently today, I need to say this because I was a young parent, right? I had a child at 16. So we as adults need to understand that when we look at our situations with our parents and what our parents did to us, we need to recognize one, we are coming from a childlike space. Two, that our parents were growing up just as we were. We don't give, and I'm not going to discount if your parents were harmful to you. But what I will say is that there's a measure of grace that I believe that when people are doing the best, even at their worst, they think it's the best that they can in those moments that they stumble, fall, and do wrong things. And so that is something we don't talk about that either because we think, well, they're adults. Okay, well, I'm 48 and I promise you I can review my life and say, even with my children, probably wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that. So I think that we as adults need to look at and review our lives in the space of, okay, well, my parents were growing up too. They didn't know what's going on, right? There's no book on parenting, even though, there's really no book on parenting because some of y'all as young kids was a handful. Right. But that's right, still am, right? So it's just one of those things and some of the coping strategies are just like, have a healthy routine. It's hard and the word healthy is so hard because we don't know what healthy looks like.
We don't even eat healthy foods. So
child, I just do my notes. You just listen. You can't have a healthy spirit when your sodium levels are so high that your blood pressure is taking you out and making you pass out. Boom. I just had to say it on the show.
That part right there.
So I appreciate you. It is 8:17 and I asked for permission because you Roba, my awesome producer, I'd be like, listen, can I go past the time that we're going? And so I want to wrap up. And so I want you to tell the audience one thing that they need to do today. Tell them how to find you. Jennifer Simmons, I can't with this girl. I can't with her today. So I just can't with her. And so we're going to talk about, what can they do today to kind of overcome or recognize or identify their trauma. Tell us how to reach you. All right. And then tell us, okay, so I'm going to ask a question. This goes back from last week because Marie Kondo, that person who talks about how to clean your house and how to fold your clothes and all that kind of stuff. She was talking about how she doesn't wash her bathtub out. But she just rinses it with water and she prays over it. So your question for you in closing is, how do you wash your bathtub? Because we're gonna judge you today. We're gonna judge you today on how you wash your bathtub.
Amen. Honey, well, judge me, baby. But I'm gonna use a whole lot of bleach, some Pine-Sol, some Fabuloso. Baby, I got it all, baby. Yes, I have OCD. So y'all see my face crunch up like, you know what I'm saying? Because it tells all over my face. I ain't even fit to play with it. But baby, I got to have a bleach. It's like this. If I can't smell the bleach in my house, it ain't clean. Period. Period. If you can't smell bleach in your house, you need to start cleaning. Clean it up. Some of y'all need to clean up your house anyway. Why? Because that's how your life is. Your life represents your house. So if your house is messy, you better know that your life is messy. Clean it up. It's time to clean up your life. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to drop the mic on it like that. But hey, you can find me, Lady V, on all social media. all social media, T Lady V Elliott or Lady V the Queen Pen. You can find me there. I'm on all social media, okay? Um, or you can just find me at www.linktree Lady VENP, okay? Lady VENP, E as an Elliot, N as a night, and P as professionals, because that's who I am, honey. I am professionally and perfectionally me, okay? So y'all make sure that y'all do that. I want to definitely help you on your journey to greatness, to roar in your greatness. That's what I want to tell you today. It's time to roar in your greatness, because he didn't put us here on this earth for us to be mediocre. He put us here on this earth to be great. It's up to you to choose to be great. What is it that you choosing to do today? Be great. I'm going to be roaring in your greatness. But remember, you got to release, you got to overcome, you got to awaken the rebel, and then you got to rise to the greatness. I know that you can. I believe in you. I pray that you believe in yourself. And Kadada, we gonna get that prayer life together. So we praying for you today. And don't even worry about it, baby. Now, I know you was hungry at that time, so it's okay, honey.
So lesson for me is don't pray when you're hungry.
Okay.
Lady B, thank you, sister, for being on Life Coaching Today Presents with me. This has been a fantastic segment, and I know that I'm going to ask you at some other time, like Lady B, can you come back on at 7 a.m.? And so I appreciate everyone for joining me this morning, for waking up with me this morning. And I promise you all, it's a muscle to flex to show up at 7 a.m. every Thursday. But guess what? I have listeners all around the country and all around the world. And so, and for them, some of them are like, hey, we just over here sipping wine because it's 5 p.m. somewhere.
Okay.
And so I love it. I love it. So thank you all once again for joining Life Coaching Today Presents. And I hope and pray that every day that you live your life, you take it easy on yourself, that you have a little grace for yourself and others. And you know what? We can overcome. And that is most important. And if you need assistance, find me. Listen, ain't a lot of Kadada as Mary Grays out in the world. And so y'all can find me real easy. If we're going to put out some information about Lady V. So if you need coaching, if you want us to come and speak, we're here for you. So I appreciate you, Lady V. I appreciate everyone that joined me this morning and will subsequently join this podcast. So I love you all. Have a good morning and the rest of the day. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for watching Life Coaching Today Presents, hosted by Kadada Gray and produced by Aruba Saad. Our mission at Life Coaching Today is to empower your health, business, community, and life. Check us out at lifecoachingtoday.com. Everyone here at the True Awesome Network would like to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and spread awesome.